Central Intelligence, 2016. In high school, Calvin Joyner was the most popular student, admired for his athletic success and kind personality. During an assembly celebrating his achievements, an overweight and bullied student named Robbie Weirdicht was humiliated by cruel classmates who exposed him naked in front of everyone. Calvin felt sympathy and covered Robbie with his jacket, showing a small act of kindness that Robbie never forgot. Years later, Calvin's life becomes ordinary. He works as an accountant and feels his dreams fading away, when a mysterious friend request appears online from someone claiming to be Bob Stone. Calvin unknowingly reconnects with the same boy from high school. Calvin hesitates at first, but eventually agrees to meet Bob Stone for a drink before their upcoming high school reunion. When Calvin arrives, he is shocked to see that Bob is actually Robbie Weirdicht, now transformed into a massive, muscular man with an energetic personality. Bob explains he works for the CIA and is in town on a mission. Calvin finds Bob strange but friendly, remembering the shy boy from school. Their reunion becomes awkward when Bob suddenly reveals he needs Calvin's help to decode some financial data. Calvin laughs nervously, thinking Bob is joking, unaware that he is about to be pulled into dangerous events. Later that night, Bob visits Calvin's home and asks to use his computer skills to analyze encrypted accounting information tied to international crime networks. Calvin reluctantly helps, but begins feeling uneasy as Bob's behavior grows suspicious. Suddenly, armed agents from the CIA storm Calvin's house, searching for Bob. Calvin hides in panic as Bob escapes through a window, leaving him confused and terrified. After the agents leave, Calvin realizes he might now be connected to something far bigger than he imagined. Soon Bob returns and insists that the CIA agents cannot be trusted. Calvin struggles to decide whether Bob is telling the truth. Bob explains that a dangerous spy known as the Black Badger is planning to sell classified satellite codes to terrorists. According to Bob, the CIA leadership has been compromised, meaning he cannot trust anyone except Calvin. Calvin refuses at first, insisting he is just an accountant with a simple life. However, Bob persuades him by explaining that Calvin's accounting knowledge can help track hidden financial transactions. Calvin nervously agrees to help temporarily, hoping the situation will end quickly. The unlikely pair begins investigating secret bank records while avoiding CIA agents who believe Bob has gone rogue and is now the primary suspect. As they travel across the city gathering information, Calvin becomes increasingly overwhelmed by the chaos surrounding him. Bob, however, seems fearless and strangely enthusiastic about every dangerous situation. He drags Calvin through gunfights, car chases, and intense interrogations, treating them like exciting adventures. Calvin constantly complains, wishing he had never accepted the friend request. Despite the madness, Calvin begins noticing Bob's genuine loyalty and gratitude toward him for that single act of kindness years ago. Slowly, Calvin gains confidence in himself, while helping Bob analyze financial clues that point toward the mysterious identity of the Black Badger. Meanwhile, CIA agent Pamela Harris relentlessly hunts Bob and Calvin, convinced that Bob has stolen classified information. She tracks their movements and pressures Calvin through phone calls, warning him that Bob is manipulating him. Calvin becomes torn between believing Bob and trusting the official authority of the CIA. Bob insists Harris is lying and claims the real traitor hides inside the agency itself. As tension grows, Calvin starts questioning everything. Their investigation eventually reveals secret accounts moving millions of dollars through hidden channels. These financial trails suggest that the Black Badger is someone powerful with direct access to intelligence operations. While attending their high school reunion, Bob and Calvin attempt to secretly meet a contact who might reveal the Black Badger's identity. The reunion becomes an emotional moment for both men. Calvin realizes many former classmates envy his life, even though he once believed he had failed. Bob also faces painful memories of bullying but proudly embraces the person he has become. Suddenly, the CIA agents arrive at the reunion, creating chaos among the guests. Bob and Calvin escape through the building while continuing their investigation. The reunion reminds Calvin that courage and friendship matter more than popularity or past expectations. Bob eventually uncovers evidence that suggests the Black Badger is actually someone inside the CIA leadership. As the truth begins emerging, Agent Harris captures Calvin and demands the stolen data from Bob. She insists Bob is the traitor manipulating Calvin's trust. Calvin feels terrified and betrayed, unsure who to believe. When Bob arrives to rescue him, a tense confrontation reveals shocking information about past undercover missions. Secrets about double agents and hidden operations surface, making it clear that the conspiracy is deeper than either man expected. Calvin must finally choose whether to trust his old friend or the powerful intelligence agency. During the final confrontation, Bob faces Agent Harris, while Calvin analyzes the encrypted files one last time. The data finally reveals the true identity of the Black Badger and exposes the entire conspiracy. Gunfire erupts as the traitor attempts to escape with the satellite codes. Calvin unexpectedly steps forward, using his intelligence to outsmart the villain and prevent the sale of the dangerous information. Bob fights fiercely to protect his friend while proving his loyalty to the CIA. Together they stop the enemy and secure the classified data, turning their unlikely partnership into a heroic victory that saves countless lives. After the mission ends, Bob's name is cleared and the CIA acknowledges his bravery. Calvin returns to his normal life but no longer sees himself as an ordinary, unsuccessful accountant. The adventure helped him rediscover his courage and confidence. At the reunion celebration, Calvin proudly introduces Bob as his best friend, no longer embarrassed by his past or afraid of judgment. Bob expresses gratitude again for Calvin's kindness years ago, explaining that it changed his life forever. Their story proves that even the smallest act of compassion can create powerful friendships and unexpected heroes in the most unlikely circumstances.